Hello everyone, welcome to our talk on belts. Old school backdoor attacks can evade the state-of-the-art defense with backdoor exclusivity lifting. I'm from Fudan University. In recent years, we have witnessed the rise and popularity of deep learning model sharing platforms, such as Hugging Face and Model Zoo. Users can find suitable models on these platforms according to their needs and download them for free. According to statistics, the download volume of the most popular models in Hugging Face is comparable to that of popular traditional package registries. This indicates that model hubs have become an integral part of the model supply chain. However, due to the services provided by these platforms, almost anyone can publish their pre-trained models on them, and due to the lack of a certain validation mechanism, it leaves room for backdoor attacks. A malicious model provider can use these platforms to widely disseminate backdoor models on the internet. The goal of a backdoor attack is to embed a secret malicious functionality into a DNN model, which won't affect the model's performance on normal data, but will misclassify poisoned data with triggers into a specified class. In the context of a face recognition system, for instance, a backdoor model would allow people wearing special glasses to gain unauthorized access. Furthermore, backdoor attacks can occur at various stages of the model supply chain, such as data collection, model selection, and model training, making it considered one of the most serious threats to deep learning systems. Existing attacks typically require the backdoor to be activated by triggers under various input conditions. Therefore, attackers tend to design strong feature triggers, such as random pixel patches or fixed patterns, which can be easily learned by the victim model. This provides significant advantages for backdoor attacks. On one hand, it drives the model to exhibit stronger generalization to trigger features, enabling backdoor attacks to achieve nearly 100% attack success rate. On the other hand, even in the presence of input noise or interference, strong feature triggers are still easily identified, enhancing the robustness of the backdoor. Robustness is an important property of triggers, as it can increase the success rate and stability of backdoor attacks, keeping triggers effective in complex environments. However, excessive robustness can lead to triggers with significant variations also activating the backdoor. These approximate triggers might inadvertently trigger the backdoor or even serve as clues for detecting it. In fact, most state-of-the-art backdoor defense systems leverage the robustness advantage of backdoors and turn it into a weakness to obtain approximate triggers. They use techniques like reverse engineering, sample superposition, or attribution to effectively find approximate alternatives to the original triggers. In our paper, we refer to these triggers that are similar to the original trigger and can activate the backdoor as fuzzy triggers. Although the triggers identified by various backdoor defense methods may not be identical to the original triggers, they still possess the capability to activate the backdoor and thus can all be classified as fuzzy triggers. From our perspective, backdoor robustness is akin to the head of a coin, describing the tolerance of the backdoor to trigger variations, while the tail of the coin represents the exclusivity of the backdoor, reflecting its response precision to triggers. Considering the ubiquity of fuzzy triggers and their prevalence when significant successes are achieved by backdoor defense systems, a natural question arises. Can we measure the backdoor exclusivity and enhance it? In our paper, we provide an affirmative response. We first delve into the close interaction between fuzzy triggers and backdoor exclusivity, designing a universal and effective measure for backdoor exclusivity. Specifically, we conduct comprehensive perturbation analysis on the original trigger, estimating the upper bound that leads to trigger invalidation. This boundary indicates the potential range of existence for fuzzy triggers, showcasing the maximum distortion triggers can tolerate while still activating the backdoor. Leveraging this boundary, we introduce, for the first time, a metric to measure backdoor exclusivity. As illustrated in the figure, the origin represents the original trigger. The X's denote the magnitude of perturbation. Red and blue dots represent fuzzy triggers and invalid triggers, respectively. The black circle denotes the perturbation boundary, and the red circle denotes the trigger upper bound, ensuring all triggers with perturbations greater than the upper bound are invalid. For a backdoor with exclusivity close to 0%, the upper bound approaches the perturbation boundary. In this case, there's no clear upper limit for triggers to ensure invalidation, indicating the existence of numerous fuzzy triggers. For a backdoor with exclusivity close to 100%, the upper bound approaches 0. This can be interpreted as all perturbed triggers being invalid, indicating the backdoor only allows the original trigger to activate, imparting uniqueness to the trigger. Furthermore, we also measure the exclusivity of existing state-of-the-art backdoors based on this metric, finding that traditional backdoor attacks perform poorly in terms of exclusivity, thus affecting their escapability against countermeasures. This provides powerful insights for further research and improvement in backdoor attacks. Guided by the concept of backdoor exclusivity, we introduce a novel attack technique called Belt. Belt is effective, straightforward to implement, and can complement existing backdoor attacks to further enhance their escapability. BALT aims to precisely define the activation conditions of the backdoor, rendering fuzzy triggers incapable of activating the backdoor, thereby enhancing its exclusivity. Specifically, during the data poisoning phase, we create batches of poisoned samples. One batch consists of tainted samples DT carrying the original trigger, such as white circle, with labels modified to the target label, intended to inject the backdoor into the model. The other batch consists of cover samples DC carrying cover triggers, such as incomplete white circle, while retaining the true labels, aimed at suppressing the association between the backdoor and fuzzy triggers, thus strengthening the exclusivity of the backdoor. When the model is trained on a dataset containing these poisoned samples, a highly exclusive backdoor is implanted. We consider two main attack scenarios for Belt: data outsourcing and model outsourcing. In model outsourcing scenarios, additional loss terms can be incorporated to further amplify the impact of Belt. We evaluated the effectiveness of BALT attacks on image classification tasks, covering 3 popular benchmarks and 4 classic backdoor attacks. Here, plus denotes Belt attacks under the data outsourcing scenario, and plus denotes Belt attacks under the model outsourcing scenario. Experimental results indicate that Belt can effectively enhance backdoor exclusivity while maintaining CDA and ASR. On average, the exclusivity of conventional backdoors is approximately 17%, whereas Belt can elevate it to 45% to 55%. We considered 6 backdoor defenses to evaluate the escapability of attacks. Neural Cleanse and ABS are reverse engineering-based backdoor detection algorithms, aiming to reverse engineer potential backdoor triggers from the target model. MNTD trains a metaclassifier to score the target model, where higher scores indicate a higher likelihood of a backdoor presence. MOTH utilizes reverse triggers and natural triggers to achieve model orthogonalization, aiming to eliminate potential backdoors within the model. Strip is a data-level detection algorithm that uses entropy to determine whether samples carry triggers. Sentinet employs attribution techniques to reveal regions within samples that significantly impact classification results, thereby identifying the presence of triggers. Experimental results indicate that backdoors crafted with Belts have the capability to evade these defenses, which would otherwise detect or eliminate them. In our method, cover triggers are created by masking a portion of the original trigger randomly, generating diverse cover triggers. It's crucial to note that the quality of cover triggers directly impacts the degree of exclusivity enhancement. Lower masking rates lead to higher exclusivity, as they produce cover triggers closer to the original, by minimizing the connection between the backdoor and high-quality fuzzy triggers. Backdoor exclusivity can be notably improved. Additionally, we explored alternative methods for crafting cover samples, such as random sampling and noise injection, and the masking-based method outperform other methods in most scenarios. We also examined potential adaptive defenses against belt, given that BELT's effectiveness hinges on backdoor exclusivity. Only precise triggers can activate the backdoor. Consequently, an adaptive defender might attempt to disrupt potential triggers by adding noise to input data. Moreover, we validated the perturbation resistance of BELT. As noise intensity increased, both CDA and ASR experienced a slight decrease. Notably, ASR consistently outperformed CDA throughout this decline, indicating that belt maintains a balanced trade-off between backdoor exclusivity and perturbation resistance. For more details, feel free to read our paper and follow our research. Thank you.